Hello investors and welcome back to Just Randy Stocks. This is going to be a very basic beginner video for those of you that want to get into stocks at a better price. If you find yourselves blindly buying in and not being really sure as to what price is the lowest, I want to cover the basics of support and resistance during this video. We're going to be using tradingview.com, so if you want to follow along, go ahead, pause the video, go to tradingview.com. Once you're in tradingview.com, go ahead and put in your ticker symbol. We're going to be using Proterra. So tradingview.com is absolutely free. So go ahead and start your free trial, and that'll prevent these pop-ups from popping up. The next thing you want to do is go up here to the top left-hand corner and go to dark color theme and select that. And the next thing I want you to do is go to horizontal line, and you can put a star on it to make it your favorite. So we're going to be putting horizontal lines to show both support and resistance. Then I want you to take a look at your chart. You may be using a different ticker symbol, so just go through, click on 1 day, and you'll notice it's a 1 day, 1 minute chart, and there's seconds, minutes, hours. The most common hour to use is 4 hours when analyzing a chart, but this is going to go ahead and default for you, and there's nothing wrong with using the defaults. And of course you'll see these pop-ups happen, so go ahead and start that free trial. So let's start off by taking a look at the 5 day, 5 minute chart, and depending on what time you are selecting, that's going to be the time of the candlestick that we're going to look at. So I just want to explain what a candlestick is for those of you that might not be familiar with the candlesticks. Right here you can see this one has all 4 parts. It's got a wick at the bottom, then we've got the bottom of the candlestick, the body, top of the candlestick, and the top of the wick. So I say there's 4 parts because we have the lowest price for that time window, which, taking into account this is a 5 day, 5 minute chart. And as we zoom in, you've got this time window, which is 1500 or 3 p.m. on July 15th of 2021. So at 3 p.m., between 3 p.m. and 3:05 is how it's reading this specific candlestick. And as you go through and select them further out, it will be 1 hour, it'll be 2 hours, it'll be 1 year, but just good to pay attention to what the time frame is within those candlesticks. So for this first one, we have all 4 parts. We've got the lowest part of the wick at the bottom. We've got the open of that time. Then we have the close of that time, and then the highest part within that 5 minute window. So the lowest part of that 5 minute window, exactly when that 5 minute window opened, the close of that 5 minute window, and then the highest point it went within that 5 minute window. So like I was saying before, if you're not signed into your free trial, you'll continue to get these pop-ups. So I'm going to go ahead and turn over to my account, and I've already drawn some lines, so for now just ignore these green lines that I've drawn in already. So let's talk about extreme swing highs and lows. So you'll see these candlesticks, the wicks, down here at the very bottom, and that's what we want to establish is where is the support, where it bounces off and it's very easy to see and creates this triangle pattern. And with trading, you'll be able to see that there are some patterns that evolve. And this is a very obvious pattern in the 1 year chart. You can see these are triangles. If you're not familiar with patterns, 10 chart patterns every day trader needs to know. And the top 10 would be head and shoulders all the way down to symmetrical triangle. So you could see there was sort of an ascending triangle pattern that started here, and this was back between March and May, and now we've evolved into a pretty much decline, and we know why. There was an article that was published that an analyst said that this was only worth $8, and then we had some inflation news by the Fed. We also have concern about the Delta variant for the coronavirus, and lastly, we've got some big tech sell-off and some retail investor sell-off. So we've went past this first line, which I established as a support line, which was 1328. And you can see we go back and it doesn't really connect. It doesn't hit. And what you want to establish support are more than one support point. So up here, you can see we touch more of those bottom support points. But what you should really do is more recently, we're looking at this, and it just busted through everything. This previous support area of 1382, it fell below that. And once it broke below 1382, we knew that it was in a downward trend. So what I'm looking for the next support line is, can it hold up on 1187? And we had to go back quite a ways to establish this support line for 1187. And you can see here it connected and hit a few different places on the chart. So how do you establish the highs and lows or support and rejection points? And this right here, if this would have held up, this would have been a point of support. And then you can see it went up and there was a sell-off here in the $17 range. So can we go back and establish support on this? And what we'll have to do is take a closer look at the chart. So just to lock in 1187 for Proterra, if we can't hold that support, we could test 1059. And that's where I'm just connecting some additional points here on the chart. It could go this low. Do I expect it to go below that? We'll have to wait and see next week. But I believe we're going to hold support at 1187. So if we go into the 5-day chart, you can still see some of these green lines that I've drawn in, and we can zoom in to see exactly where our support is. So do we have bottom line support at 1187? Yes, we've got touch points here, through obviously a very small chart window. And what we're looking to do is actually get support above that. So where can we draw a line that hits a majority of these points, and it's showing an obvious visual decline after it hits that support? So this would be an outlier. I don't think that we can include this, but we're touching 2 points here, 1 here. So there's multiple points being able to touch when we're breaking about 1206, and it doesn't look like we can go too much higher than that. So obviously we want to see this tomorrow break the $12 range and then establish an upward trend, and it's going to have to get above breaking this 1243. So I would say that it looks like it pushed and tried to get about up above 1233, and then the next level of support would be 1243. So tomorrow you want to be looking for the 1133 to be broken, and then again the 1243 to sustain for this to be in an upward trend. Now it could hit this and start to decline. What's surprising to me about Proterra is it held up so well when all the other SPACs were under the SPAC attack, and it was in the $14 range, and I was recommending this as a buy in the $14 range. It was holding up real well. But now with the Dow ultimately being potentially in a downward trend, and the summer months are traditionally not good when it comes to trades. This will recover, but it could test. And just watch these levels. Just to recap one more time, let's make sure we can hold up on 1187. If it breaks 1187, we could have support at 1059, and if it breaks 1059, we could go further down here to the $9 range, 982. I really don't see this busting through $10, but you never know. Crazy times, and that's all I have for this video, and I'll see you in the next one.